Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. Oh, this is a video that I'm having a little trouble kind of really focusing my thoughts on because I'm a little too invested emotionally, I think, in what I'm talking about in the subject matter. I think this is why I'm going to try and stay calm on this one. I'm going to try not to rant and rip this a new one. And of course, we're talking about Alex Kurtzman. This is the interview he gave Deadline. I believe it was Deadline on their podcast a few weeks ago or a couple days ago, whatever it was, last week. We didn't really get any new information other than, you know, just further confirmation that he really doesn't get Star Trek, in my opinion. So we're going to listen to him talking about the episode The Inner Light from The Next Generation. It's one of my favorites. It's probably one of your favorites too. If you guys remember, it's the one where Picard is hit with the memories from a probe. He's knocked out for 5 minutes and he can play the flute at the end. And that is pretty much all of Alex Kurtzman's understanding of it. And that's heartbreaking. And you know, here's some images from there. It's just Picard with a flute and, you know. And I think that's what a lot of people take away from it. They don't really get... I don't think they get, like, the grand scheme of things. It's like they just Googled the ending on YouTube. And it's there. I just rewatched the ending on YouTube. And it's just as heartbreaking now as when I watched it as a kid, or a teenager when it aired. And every time I go back to it, it's still equally heartbreaking. Let's hear what Alex Kurtzman's opinion of The Inner Light is. And then I'll correct him. Probably either as we go or after the fact. Here we go. Here's Alex Kurtzman talking about The Inner Light. And, you know, thanks so much, Rob, for just clipping this for me. I really appreciate it.
What you come to the reveal of the story and why the probe contacted him in the first place is that it's a species that died of a planetary collapse 1,000 years ago. And sort of the collective memory of these people has been embedded in this probe, and it's been looking for somebody to leave the memories with. So it's very Trek.
Not the collective memory of the people. It was the one guy. The one dude. The one guy.
That way. And so when it makes a connection with him, he finds himself living their lives, but at the end...
No, he's living the one life of the one man. He's not living everybody's life. And if you watched the episode, you would know he tries to do whatever he can to contact his ship, to escape, until he finally realizes, oh, this is life now, and he embraces it, and he, you know, becomes the husband of the woman who's, you know, who's there, he becomes the father. He lives this man's entire life, one man's entire life, to leave a record of the society, because that was one prominent member of their race. Had you watched this?
All the people who died around him over all the years he lived are standing in front of him in this beautiful scene, and they say, we live on in you now. You get to carry us forward into the future.
Yes, the memories of the people. He didn't... They gave him those life experiences as the best way. Instead, you know, the best way to give memories of people is to live among them, right? And he didn't get everybody's memory. He only got one person's memory, but he got the memory of all those people, right? I think you just don't get it. I think you just don't get it. And here's the scene. Here's the scene on YouTube. Like I said, he just watched the last couple of minutes where they're all standing around him. And he sees the rocket go up and the probe, and they're like, yes, we live on in you. This is what he watched. This clip, this is all he watched. Just the last couple of minutes of this. And it's clear to me, it's really clear to me that that's all he did was watch the last couple of minutes of the episode. He doesn't get the impact and the devastation that Picard was feeling when he thought he was stuck there and abandoned there on this planet. And unless I'm not remembering it wrong. I might be remembering it wrong. I don't know. Maybe I take away something completely different from Star Trek than other people.
Sure. And you saw him, you know, he couldn't play an instrument before The Inner Light. And then at the end of the episode, he wakes up and he has the ability to play the flute.
Do you know why? Because he lived his entire life as this other person. He lived this other person's life. And he had the time. It's kind of like the end of Stargate SG-1, where, you know, over time, even though nothing ever happens, you know, Samantha Carter learns to play the cello over time because they had nothing else to do because they're sitting there on a ship forever and ever, and then Teal'c has to go back and save them. It's when you have that time, you can... And yes, he had the memories. Everything that happened in that person's life flashed to him, and he was knocked out for 5 minutes in Star Trek bridge time. Yes, but the way that was designed, it had the experience, the ability to let him experience everything that man lived through, and everybody who died around him. And I think that's the most important thing to remember.
And so it's so perfectly simple. It's a brilliant episode, and a fan
simple,
favorite,
though.
if not the fan favorite of Next Gen. Although everybody will tell you a different Next Gen episode that was their favorite, but I think it represented too. And Patrick and I were just talking about it the other day because there's no bridge story. There's no it doesn't take place on the ship. There's a B story where they're cutting back to him in his coma, but that's not the story. And yet it's remembered as one of the greatest Next Gen episodes because it was pure character.
Yeah, no villain, no
villain.
Gunfire.
Yeah, the villain was time.
You almost got it right. You had the other guy try and say, yes, there was no villain in this one. And he's like, oh yeah, the villain was time. No, the villain wasn't time. Time is not a villain. Time is inevitable. Everybody, everything will die, and it's heartbreaking. Okay? It is heartbreaking. That is not a villain, right? You almost get it, but then you don't. It is not just a character story. It is not just Picard's character that's the important thing. The important thing here is the exploration of other civilizations, how these people live their lives, what they accomplished to try and save their planet. That was another thing. They were trying to save their planet. They realized they couldn't. They're like, oh, we're screwed. We can't get off the planet. We can't do anything, but we can send a record of ourselves in a time capsule. They can do that. And that's what he doesn't get. He doesn't quite get it, that this is more complex than he's like, oh, it's such a simple story. It's just Picard on a planet. No, it is not. It is this complex story of one of the things I take away from it is that if you blink, your life will pass you by in a heartbeat. And he doesn't understand, and he's old enough to understand that. He's got gray hair, for crying out loud. You're old enough to understand this, that life is short. It will blink out in the second. Sometimes random things will happen. Sometimes there are things you can't control, and that is more your enemy, quote unquote. And no, it's not a bridge story. It's not, but it is still exploration, and it is a human sociological study of humanity and people and interactions and what you can hold valuable. And yeah, he learned to play the flute at the end, and that's something that he can kind of take with him in his memory of these people, of this life experience. He got to live an entire life on this planet and experience it in real time for his perception. And you don't understand that. The fact that you don't understand that is appalling to me. And this is the person who's in charge of Star Trek. This is the person who thinks he knows best. And sure, he's not going to be as hands-on on the Picard series now. We've got Michael Chabon stepping up as showrunner 5 episodes in. But he's still co-showrunner on Discovery. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? That tells me this is just somebody who doesn't get it, who is well-meaning, seems like a nice guy. I don't think he's got the intellectual capacity to understand why The Inner Light was an important episode. There's a couple more seconds of this interview here.
The villain was circumstance, and the villain was
oblivion.
Life. And
the villain was life.
Again, the subtext is every moment matters.
All right, so that part you get. That part you get, but still, that part you get. Yes, every moment matters. All right, okay. I jumped the gun on that one. Okay, he gets that every moment matters, but you still don't know how to condense this into Star Trek. You're still so visual effects heavy. And this interview, I will give him some credit. He did hear, he is hearing us. Whether he's understanding is not the point here. that's the big thing. It's like you really, really need to have this deeper understanding of what Star Trek is, and not just be like, oh yeah, they just fly around in space and blow shit up, because that's not what Star Trek really is about at the end of the day. And yes, there's going to be space battles. There's more in Babylon 5. There's going to be space battles. There's going to be conflict. There's going to be exploration. There's going to be comedy. There's going to be drama. There's going to be people who don't get along with each other. Star Trek has always been something where you have to work out your differences and find a happy medium. And the fact that, you know, he kind of is a little bit aware. It's like he's trying to learn. At least there's that. But I still don't really have that much faith. And I'm going to use their term, because this is one thing that they keep sprinkling out throughout everything is faith. Oh, just have faith. Just have faith. Just trust us. Just trust us. It's not the religious faith. It's just trust us. And I don't. And I really, really don't. Because, like I said, it looks like you just Googled a clip of the ending. It's like you just Googled a clip of the ending and read the plot synopsis. Okay, you don't understand the more impactful thing of this. And I'm actually this is one of those episodes where I'm like, okay, he didn't report this. This wasn't on record. This was just something he kind of kept to himself. And that is, I think, more that I think, in my opinion anyway, that's more the story I want to understand. You know, if God, I hate requesting this. If we could get some of his reasoning for just keeping all that to himself. Because if you remember, he didn't go to sickbay, or if he did, he just got a quick scan. I don't recall him putting this all in reports. I believe he just said, no, I'm fine. I just got a little jolt. And I don't believe he said in as much detail as what happened in the episode. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. It has been, like I said, it's been a while, but you know, these episodes still are so impactful. Even if all I did recently was probably as much as he did, but yeah, I think he's smart enough to know to kind of repeat back what he hears. I think Kurtzman's smart enough to repeat back what he hears in this instance, Mr. Alex Kurtzman here. But I still don't think he quite gets Star Trek, like, at its core meaning. He wants to make it more kid-friendly. He wants to bring in little kids. I was a little kid when I watched Star Trek. You know, you really have to not dumb down Star Trek to appeal to the normies. Sometimes we want something for the Mensa level people. Sometimes we want something for the people who get it. And you know, sometimes you don't want to underestimate your audience. You don't want to cater to the lowest common denominator, because when that happens, you kind of miss the point on a lot of it. And at least he got it at the end of that little clip. He was kind of getting, okay, it's not time and so much, or it's not, you know, he says the villain's time. He says that every moment counts. And that is definitely one of the main messages of that episode, I think. So he got some of it, but no, time wasn't the enemy. That's just life. Life is one of these things. It is a continuing process. Everything dies. Everything consumes something else to live. That's how the planet works. I mean, trees consume, you know, the carbon dioxide to produce oxygen. That's just how life is. It is a self-containing circular, you know, the recycle symbol. That's how life is. That's how life works, you know. You take horse manure and you fertilize crops and plants with it, and that type of stuff. It is, and then they go eat a plant and crop, and then they crap again. We're getting really off topic here, because I don't want to stop thinking about this episode, and I don't want Star Trek just to be left with a bunch of people who don't get it, who don't really get it. And I think at least I'm going to give him a little ounce of credit there for being able to mimic back and being able to at least address some of these questions, and at least hear that, yes, we have some fan favorites. We have these episodes for a reason. This whole interview, there's so much. We went over this on Midnight's Edge After Dark not too long ago. And yeah, there's so much in this interview just to kind of pick apart. I don't know if I have any faith in them, though. I really don't. We'll see. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. What did I get wrong? What did I interpret wrong? Because I know I probably did, because this has been a while. I am Mecha Random 42, PO Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80539. I will see you guys on the next video, live stream at Star Trek Las Vegas this year with Midnight's Edge, the guys there. And I will see you guys later. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye! For crying out loud, he read it on the freaking box. What the hell's wrong with him? Seize the time now. It'll never come again. Kurtzman, you read it on the box for the pendant. Also, I really, really want this pendant. Holy crap, I want this one. That's the probe. They have the probe from the inner light. Yeah, they just have it. And he just read the... Oh, yes, it's about time. The enemy's time. Seize time now. It'll never come again. You just read the quote on the freaking pen. He's just his quote. He's just reciting back what they're saying in the episode. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. If he got it, we would have good Star Trek. We would have good Star Trek. We would just have good Star Trek. But no, we don't. But no, we don't. He doesn't get it. He will never will. And God, I totally want this. Just to spite him. Just to spite him now. I can't spend $90 on it. It's gorgeous. I wanted to spite him. I wanted to spite him. Alex Kurtzman, you don't get it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!